Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm reacting to how Shiva destroyed your karma in 40 seconds. And also, they offered human ash to this linga. Well, I don't know what the fourth episode is actually called, but that's the fourth episode and the third episode. So let's go ahead and start off with the third. Destroyed your karma in 40 seconds.
It was guaranteed. If you come to Kashi, you will attain to Mukti. He established what is called today as Bhairavi Yatana. Last 40 seconds, many lifetimes of accumulated karma will play out in fast forward. Kal Bhairav means the dark one. That's one aspect of him. It is seen in many different ways. It is a deadly form of Shiva. When he went into a destructive mode, not of destroying this or that, of destroying time. See, all physical realities exist within the span of time, isn't it? If I destroy your time, everything is over. So, Kal Bhairav means just that. Because most people do not choose to live in a great manner. They have an aspiration, at least they want to die in a great way. That little aspiration brought millions of people to Kashi to die. So the last phase of their life, people came because they did not live gloriously, they have a dream of dying gloriously at least. Hope. Dying gloriously means death leading not just to disposal of body, but death leading to an ultimate liberation. It was guaranteed, if you come to Kashi, you will attain to Mukti. Doesn't matter what kind of a lousy creature you have been all your life. So all the lousy creatures started coming because they lived badly and they want to die gloriously. Only the population of the lousy multiplied. Then Shiva said the place is becoming lousy with so many lousy people. The place itself will become lousy. So he said, there needs to be some check. So he established what is called today as Bhairavi Yatana. You know what Yatana means? Yatana means ultimate suffering, it's something that happens to you in hell. He will make it happen to you here. Last 40 seconds of one's life, if one is either conscious or if he is in a consecrated space, this will distinctly happen to every human being. For whatever reason, one may be dying. Whether one is dying of old age or disease, the last 40 seconds, many lifetimes of accumulated karma will play out in fast forward. At that moment, these 40 seconds only, if you lived a life of ignorance, if you lived a life of unawareness, lifetimes of unawareness, these 40 seconds, if you can maintain some sense of awareness, he said, all the many accumulated lifetimes of karma, you will drop it, you will go through an intense phase for 40 seconds only and you will be clean and you dissolve.
Essentially, spirituality means putting your life in fast forward. You may suffer much more because everything is happening at a fast pace. What you would have stretched for 10 years is happening, let's say, in 1 month. So the amount of intensity of suffering that you go through is big. There may be moments of ecstasy and joy, but there is so much suffering because things are happening rapidly within you. So, at least towards the end of your life, you want to hasten the process. So, Bhairavi Yatana, all this is because of a powerful consecrated space. Consecrated space means one thing is just this, It's concentrated life. That means life becomes so concentrated that it burns karmic fuel at a tremendous pace. After some time, once you get used to it, there is no more yatana, it just burns. Simple. Essentially, you are at a higher rev. So, that is the purpose of every consecrated space. Kashi is significant because of the enormity of the way they built it, the aesthetics, the beauty of it. In those times, they say there wasn't another city on the planet which was that beautiful. All these things put together, it became a big draw. I mean, they created the atmosphere to get the people's focus.
So Kashi is not all pleasure and beauty. It is a place where people go into most intense form of suffering because he puts life on such a super fast forward. Lifetimes of things burn in one moment.
Okay, well I didn't say very much in that one. Holy, yeah, I really had nothing much to say in that one. Let me just kind of skim through it real quick. The only thing I gathered from this was basically in the last 40 seconds, so long as you're conscious, I believe he said, right? Or in a consecrated place, you'll get 40 seconds of intense, basically your life will flash before you, and potentially your past lives. And then you have a chance of basically like maybe stopping the rebirth cycle and being completely dissolved. They're conscious, or if he's in a consecrated space, that's 40 seconds of one's life. Yeah. Being for whatever reason may be dying. Many times accumulated karma will play out in fast forward. At the moment, these 40 seconds only. These 40 seconds, if you can maintain some sense of awareness, he said, all the many accumulated lifetimes of karma will drop it. You will go through an intense phase for 40 seconds only, and you will be clean and you will be dissolved. Is this talking about the rebirthing, reincarnation, or how we all seek to have liberation from this rebirthing cycle? And generally, from my understanding of this, is that your karma is what kinda, well, it used to be karma. The good karma that you accumulate, the higher and higher level you become until you are liberated. But now I'm hearing, or my understanding of liberation now is also awareness of how you're capable of seeing, being enlightened, basically. I believe moksha to some, and then there's another form of name of liberation. There's different names of liberations for different followings, I believe. But so it's what I used to think as liberation was karma, good karma accumulation. Now liberation is awareness. Are both valid, or are they both different teachings? And now this one I've not heard of. So for 40 seconds, and then you'll be clean and you dissolve. What does it mean by this portion? Again, is it about basically where, so long as you're conscious or in a consecrated space, and if you're able to maintain, I believe, awareness, during those 40 seconds, you can be clean and you can dissolve and no longer be rebirthed into this world for suffering. If that's correct. So let me know if I'm right or wrong about these things, because that's the knowledge that I've obtained so far in my understanding of this. Alright, let me be back and I'll put in part 4. Okay, so let's go ahead and watch part 4, which is how Shiva as Mahakal propels you towards Mukti.
Those who are aspiring for mukti,
Mukti.
this dimension that we are referring to as Mahakala becomes of paramount importance. The Mahakala temple, it will shake you from the root of your existence.
Shiva is a god who should not be named, because to name him is to limit and curtail him. At the same time, the sum of his many names also bring out the indescribable mystery of who he is, or indescribable mysteries of what this creation is, of his various forms. Kala or Mahakala is an important, at the same time a fierce form. As Mahakala, he is the lord of time. As Kala Bhairava, he is the destroyer of time.
Kala means time. Time, as you experience it, is only the cyclical movement of physical existence. The earth rotates, it's a day. The moon goes around the earth, that's a month. The earth goes around the sun, that's a year. Everything that you know as time, including your watch, is all about cycles. Everything that's physical is cyclical in nature. From atomic to cosmic, everything that's physical is naturally cyclical in nature. And because of your physical existence, because of your involvement with the physical nature of who you are, you have a sense of time. As you sit here, because you have a body, it is keeping time. If you become free from the cyclical movement of life, then we say you are in mukti or absolute liberation. So those who are aspiring for mukti, those who are seeking absolute liberation, for them this dimension that we are referring to as Mahakala becomes of paramount importance.
It once happened, the great sage Shukracharya, who was the guru for all the demons, did a tremendous span of austerities in worship of Shiva. And Shiva had to appear. When he appeared, Shukracharya asked for immortality. Then Shiva said, that is not possible. All that is born has to die. Ask for something else. Then Shukracharya said, give me the power of rejuvenation, that any kind of wound, any kind of disease I can rejuvenate, give me that power. Shiva, being the ultimate healer, the master of all herbs and medicines, gave Shukracharya the Sanjeevani mantra.
I'm pausing because I'm curious. I'm trying to, I guess, predict whether this guy's trying to be deceitful to Shiva, trying to find a way to gain immortality through other means. I'm wondering if death itself is a disease or a wound that happens to the body. Technically speaking, our cells do die. And if you continue, and our cells continue to regenerate, that's how. And from what I remember watching on YouTube, and it's supposedly science, is that scientists are trying to figure out why all of a sudden our cells just stops multiplying. That's the reason why we die. Our cells continues to regenerate and regenerate and regenerate until it just stops, and where we die. So I'm wondering if that's what's trying to happen here.
The mantra for rejuvenating people from any kind of disease or any kind of wound or injury. Once Shukracharya had this Sanjeevani mantra, the demons became excessively bold and they waged battle after battle. All the demons who fall down in the battle with any kind of grievous wound, Shukracharya just revives them with the Sanjeevani mantra. So ultimately, the army of the demons can go on fighting without losing a single man. The gods got very alarmed and they felt this is a very unfair battle because how much ever you fight, they don't die, but we die.
That's weird. I figured death is a disease or a wound. Brahma.
So they went to Brahma. Brahma intervened with Shiva and said, "You have given this Shukracharya this kind of power. You must kill him. Otherwise, there will be a complete imbalance in the world. The demons have an unfair advantage over the gods." Then Shiva said, "There is no need to kill him. I will contain him." Then the battle between the devas and the demons was going on. Shukracharya was going about uttering the mantra and reviving all the demons from their injuries and wounds. Then across the horizon, a terrible creature, an ogress, whose name was Kritika, came in a hideous form. She was one of the Shiva Ganas. She came and sucked Shukracharya into her womb. And there he remained as a fetus. And he was contained, and a balance was set forth between gods and demons. A more fair and just battles were fought.
It's really weird. Again, why did Shiva provide that for him? Then now to contain… well, I'm guessing Shiva doesn't want to kill anyone. I'm trying to remember the other Shiva videos that I've reacted to. I think, if I remember that other one where he granted someone some powers. Where he can… oh yeah, he granted this person the ability to, I think, turn people to ash or kill them by mere touch. So he tried to touch Shiva, and Shiva, I believe, ran away, if I remember the story correctly, and went to Vishnu for guidance on how to stop him. If I remember correctly, it's been a little bit, but it's really, again, really interesting. So instead of killing the person, he ends up getting another… I don't know if that's another god out there to absorb him into a fetus?
Then Brahma was so amused and he thought, it is only Mahakala who can do this. That without killing the person, he can completely contain his life. Shukracharya remained in the womb of Kritika and his Sanjeevani mantra became impotent. Or in other words, Mahakala froze time for Shukracharya, that he cannot move on. When we talk about transcendence, when we talk about spirituality, yoga, we are seeing how to go beyond the limitations of time and space. Because time and space belongs to the physical plane of the existence. Once you aspire to be spiritual, what it means is you're aspiring to be something more than the physical. Once you're something more than the physical, that means you're aspiring to be beyond the limitations of time and space. The Mahakala temple, the linga that is consecrated there, is a phenomenal nature. It will shake you from the root of your existence. It is really an incredible consecration. It is just done for this purpose, that in some way it dissolves you. One must be ready to go into this temple properly because it's of a tremendous power and it is not for the faint-hearted. It shakes you from inside. Every day, the offering that needs to happen to Mahakala is fresh ashes from the cremation grounds, because that's what he likes and that is what keeps it going the way it's going. Unfortunately, I heard that we're getting so bloody civilized. Now it seems because some activists protested, they are not using the ashes from the cremation ground, they're just using cow dung or bullshit. Unfortunately, this is not just a cultural thing, there is a science to it. If we bring ashes from the cremation ground and some other ash, I can show you what is the difference between the two. Experientially, it's a phenomenal difference. And it's very, very important that this process is continued because that is the nature of Mahakala. The very presence of what this Mahakala Rupa is, when you go there, everything is gone, everything is burnt into ashes. That means you become free from the physical. It propels you towards your ultimate liberation. You want to do that gently, we have everything here. You want to do it in a boom way, you really want to be pushed hard and you are not faint-hearted, then Mahakala temple is a phenomenal process.
Okay, so about the last part, I was going to pause it, but I realized there's not a lot left. I mean, if the people who do the burning of the ashes in those places are okay with it, then I don't see anything wrong. But at the same time, I'm sure not all the ashes is quite gathered. Again, I don't know, I've not been there. I'm sure there's probably some left on the ground, and if these people go there to clean up the place, to gather the ashes that are left behind, they're doing a good service, I would assume, to, cleaning up the place, to gather up the ashes that were left behind, potentially. Again, I don't know if there are that are left behind. I don't know if they just go there to grab them without permission. I would assume they'd go there and ask, or if there are just some laying on the ground that aren't quite completely cleaned up, they gather those. But again, I don't know what protests are going around and what's the protest about. I'm assuming they are saying that it's either they're protesting either the fact that it's it's ashes, you shouldn't be using people's ashes without their permission. It's not sanitary, probably, even though it's been burnt. Or it's just not right to use human ashes for your religious purposes. I don't know. I've not heard of the protests, but I'm assuming it's one of those three. I don't think it's the sanitary thing. I think it's probably not asking. You didn't ask for permission. You probably just grabbed whatever happens to be out there, even though it's left there. and they're done with the ceremony, and all the ash they wanted or have gathered is it, and whatever's left was just left there, or that they shouldn't be using human ashes for the ritual. Those are my assumptions. Let me know if I'm right or wrong. But yeah, Sure, propels you towards Mukti. So let me go ahead and skim through this real quick. So it's talking about how time, even though I do remember him saying that time does not, in one of the discussions, in one of the long discussions that Guru had, he's saying time does not exist. Time is a measure. Time is distance. Space. Time doesn't exist. Something along those lines, whether time doesn't exist or time is a measurement of space. I think it says that it doesn't exist. Again, it's very interesting how they kind of humanize Shiva a little bit. Because, again, of... or maybe Shiva is not omniscience, I believe. As in, it's not all-knowing. Unless this is the plan the entire time. And I'm guessing this is the Brahma that Shiva cut off the head of. Because I think Brahma was supposed to have 5 heads, a head on top of the 4 heads. There's no need to kill him, I will contain him. And across the horizon, a terrible creature, an ogress, whose name was Kritika. She was one of Shiva's Ganas. She came and sucked her into her womb, and remained as a fetus, and it was contained, and the balance was set forward. That's kind of weird. I guess I'm trying to understand the story. And now, obviously, I understand sometimes stories don't have to make logical sense, but until I know, I have to understand it. I guess that maybe the deeper meaning is not quite hitting me. So the fact that Shiva provided this person this rejuvenated power, which I thought rejuvenation doesn't mean the ability to beat back death, and then now I guess the Devas went to Brahma and started saying, hey, this is not a fair fight. Need to tell Shiva to do something about it. I wonder if could Brahma have done anything about this? But perhaps maybe because Shiva's the one that did it, that Shiva needs to take responsibility for the actions that he's done. So if he created a problem, if Shiva created a problem, then Shiva needs to fix the problem. And then instead of killing him, which I think Shiva doesn't want to kill people, he ends up just, in a sense, imprisoning the person for eternity. It's amused that he thought it's only Mahakala who can do this. Then Brahma was so amused. Oh, wait, yeah, that's the same thing. To remain in the womb, Kritika, and the Jinvina Matra. Mahakala froze time for Shukrachira. I cannot move on. The transcendence. I must have missed what was the main thing here. We're seeing to go beyond limitation of space and time, to the physical existence beyond. Although I'll say I was really admiring that temple. So I'm just looking and looking around it. All these different. I'm assuming these are attachments to the temple. I'm looking at the temple. I see the speaker over there. I'm guessing I'm going to make announcements. And then when he said, I mean, I wasn't expecting him to say, cow manure or that last part, the bull crap portion. Now they're just using cow dung, which is not just a cultural thing. This is it. Alright, well anyways, that's my reaction to this one, so I'm going to be doing the last portion. I believe there's only 5 episodes to this. If not, I'm definitely going to look, but as far as I search, it seems to be only 5. So anyways, that's my reaction to the the 3rd episode and then the 4th episode. Also, I already did the 1st and 2nd one together as well. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. Thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.